Okay, so we're going to go over the three different kinds of problems you'll see with subtracting mixed numbers. The first kind, when it actually works out, where there's no regrouping involved. The second, where there is regrouping involved. And the third, when you're subtracting from just a whole number. So let's start off a little bit on the easier side, although none of these are too easy. Let's say we have 7 3/5. And we are subtracting 2.5. So the first thing we need is a common denominator, which we don't have. And my first check is always to see the smaller number goes into the larger. It doesn't, so we have some work to do. So what we're going to do is list the multiples of each and find their least common multiple. You might see it already, but we'll do it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And we have 5, 10, 15. I see it already. It's 10. So let's put 10 next to both of our denominators. Okay. And then 2 times 5 is 10. We need to multiply by a form of 1. So multiply the top by 5 as well. 1 times 5 is 5. And then 5 times 2 is 10. And 3 times 2 is 6. So our new problem is 7 6/10 minus 2 5/10. So 6/10 minus 5/10 is 1/10. 7 minus 2 is 5. Obviously this can't be simplified, so our answer is 5 1/10. So now I'm going to give you one like it to do, and then we'll go on to the next type of problem. All right, so let's do 6 2/3 minus 2 1/6. All right, why don't you pause the video and go ahead and do it. Okay, welcome back. I'm sure you left. So this time we see the smaller number does go into the larger number. So that means 6 is our common denominator. So I'll put 6 next to both. And then times 1 times 1. So that's 2 1/6. This is times 2 times 2. We have 2. So now we have 6 4/6. So 4/6 minus 1/6 is 3/6. And then 6 minus 2 is 4. So 4 3/6 is our answer, unless, of course, we can simplify it. Can we simplify it? Yes. We see the smaller number 3 goes into the larger number 4, so we'll divide top and bottom by 3. And we get 1/2. So 4 3/6 equals 4 1/2. These are our two answers, and this is our best answer. All right, so now let's go ahead and try one with regrouping. So let's do 12, a bigger number, 12 3/8 minus 5 3/4. Now I know there's going to have regrouping because I see that the 3/8 is less than a half and 3/4 is greater than a half, but you'll see it in a moment if you don't see it right now. So in this case, the 4 does go into the 8. So let's make 8 our common denominator. 4 times 2 is 8, and 3 times 2 is 6. So now we have 5 6/8. 8 times 1 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. So now we have 12 3/8. So the issue here is you can't subtract 6 from 3. So we have to regroup, just like you do in regular subtraction. So we're going to borrow or regroup. So take 1 away from the 12 and make it 11. So that means we subtracted 1 on this side, so we need to add 1 on the other side. So we're going to add 1. And the way you add 1 is you're going to take the denominator that you have, your common denominator, and put it over itself. You know 8/8 is 1, so that's how we're adding our 1. So 3/8 plus 8/8 is 11/8. And read my whole number over. We now have 11 and 11/8. And yes, this is improper. That's what we wanted. That way we could do the subtraction. So then you do it minus 5 and 6/8. So 11 minus 6 is 5. Bring the 8 down. And then 11 minus 5 is 6. 6 and 5/8. I'll check to see if it needs to be simplified. Nope, the 5 doesn't go into the 8. The 10 rule doesn't work. The 5 rule doesn't work. The 3, the 2, nope. It is simplified. So my answer is 6 and 5/8. All right, so hopefully you copied that down. And now I'm going to give you one to try. So let's do, I guess, 9 and 2/9 minus 3 and 2/3. So go ahead and get your common denominator. You're going to have to regroup. All right, pause the video and work on it and then come back. Okay, welcome back. So we see 3 goes into 9, so 9 is our common denominator. So I'm putting a 9 next to both. Times 3 is 6/9. I'll bring my whole number over, 3 and 6/9. Times 1 is 2/9, and bring my whole number over. So now the issue is we can't take 6 from 2. So hopefully you regroup. 9 minus 1 is 8. And then we have to add 1 on this side in using the same denominator. So 9/9, again, that's 1, is 11/9. And remember, we used 8. We regrouped here. So it's 8 and 11/9 minus 3 and 6/9. We do our subtraction. 11 minus 6 is 5. Bring the denominator down. 8 minus 3 is 5. Again, it can't be regrouped. It can't be simplified. So we are all good. The answer is 5 and 5/9. All right, now let's enter the last type of problem. That's when we have a whole number. For example, 7 minus 2 and 2/3. Now, the answer is not 5 and 2/3. It looks like it might be, but what you have to understand is this is really 7 and 0/3. And you can't take 2 from 0, so you need to regroup. So I'm going to show you 2 ways of doing it. To show you the way we did before, we crossed out the 7, we made it a 6, then we took our denominator, put it over itself, and added it. So this becomes 6 and 3/3 minus 2 and 2/3. Now we can do it. 3 minus 2 is 1 over 3. And then 6 minus 2 is 4. So the answer is 4 and 1/3. If my numerator is a 1, there's certainly no way to simplify. So my answer is 4 1/3. Now, I'm just going to show you what I would do here. I wouldn't do all this here. This is nonsense to me. As long as you realize it's 0/3, then you don't need to do it. So let's just say it's 5 minus 2 and 1/8. And I like this because it really illustrates exactly how you're regrouping. So what I would do is I would take away the 4. I'm going to take away the 5 and make it a 4. And then I would just take the denominator and put it over itself. Now, do you see this is 4 and this is 1, which is 5, which is what you started with. So you can see how the regrouping works. So now you have 4 and 8/8 minus 2 and 1/8. So 8/8 minus 1/8 is 7/8. You made that a 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 and 7/8. So this is how I would do it. I wouldn't make 0/8 and add 8/8. That's a lot of work for a whole lot of nothing. So I would just do it. I would just make 5, 4, and 8/8, and hopefully you see that's 5, and then you could do your subtraction. It works out nice and easy, and it becomes an easier problem than what you were doing before. So let's do one more. This will be the one that you're supposed to pause the video on and try it yourself. But let's do 12 minus 5 3/5. So go ahead and pause the video. Okay, welcome back. So 12. So again, you can't take 3/5 away from nothing. This is officially here, is officially 0/5. So let's do the regrouping. 12 minus 1 is 11. We take our denominator 5 and put it over itself. And now we have 11 5/5 minus 5 3/5. So 5/5 minus 3/5 is 2/5. 11 minus 5 is 6. And 2/5 cannot be simplified. So 6 2/5. All right, those are the types of problems you're going to see in this section. Always check to see if they can be simplified. I don't think any of the ones that we did today did, but in any event, that is something you have to check. Okay,